The project we're working on today has been a dream over 2 years in the making. It's the path forward. Season 1 of the Backyard Food Project has been all about getting our property ready to produce a ton of food this year. And now that pretty much all of the plants are in the ground, it's finally time to do a project that's going to make managing and using the property so much easier. Believe it or not, this whole section of our property was completely barren when we purchased it in 2018. And now I want to transform this space even further by creating a pathway that's going to help to better define these spaces, make the property easier to manage, and make it more beautiful. My plan is to build a boardwalk. And I'm going to be using these treated 2x4s in order to make the main structure. That's basically going to span across all of this black weed cloth. Unlike the greenhouse floor, I think I'm actually going to be able to get this one done pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is basically make a bunch of framed boxes that I'm going to connect together in order to get the contour that I want. And then we're just going to get some decking, put it on top. In theory, it's pretty simple. So what I did was just made a little jig so I can mark the center of each of these boards really quickly. And it's going to make this project go together a lot faster. And make sure you're always pre-drilling your holes so that way you don't split the wood. Cracked wood is weak wood. And it's also going to make this project rot a lot quicker. Let's get this first one together just to see what we're working with here. Because we are going to have to cut a lot of these pieces in order to get that natural curve shape. But luckily, since we have such a long pathway, we can start by making these basically completely symmetrical boxes and then just getting more creative towards the end. First screw going in. It's going to be important to get these all aligned at the same height, so that way when we put it down, everything fits together really well. Well, there's our first box. And now you can see it's pretty obvious this decking is just going to lay on top to create that boardwalk. Let's do this one first.
This one?
Yep.
This one first? Ow.
Yep. All right, push it in there. Okay, go ahead. Keep going, keep going. Good job. Drilling man. All of the boxes are done. And I did have to cut some of these down to make them smaller, so that way they ended where I wanted. But all of the main boxes are complete. And now what I'm going to have to do is cut specific pieces to make sure that they all mate together and the whole thing becomes nice and rock solid. For example, here, this is going to take a little creativity, and I've already got some of them laid out where I'm just going to span these joints across here with pieces like this, because I want this to flow from one to the next and make nice smooth curves, so that way we can transition easily from every area. And the important part right now is making sure that these are also flush with the top of this, so we can get everything level once they're all together. Awesome. Oh yeah. I'm happy with that. Look how bouncy this gets. I feel like a gymnast, but this is not what we want at all. We got to figure out a way to support this structure under here and get everything nice and level. So I went to Home Depot, got some bricks, and I think this is going to help me do a few things. One, to level everything and make sure I have one smooth path from start to finish. It'll also help me get some support. Look at that, underneath this 2x4 here. Now it's nice and solid because these spans are pretty long. And in the middle, it's going to get wobbly, and especially under like a heavy load, if I'm bringing a wheelbarrow or something across here, I don't want this to potentially break. So I think this is going to make the structure so much stronger, and it's going to keep the whole frame off of the ground and make everything last so much longer. That's so much better. The boxes are made, everything is supported and level. Now it's time for the decking. It's amazing how quickly something can become real. It turns out learning trigonometry in school was actually pretty important because it took a lot longer than I thought to figure out how to blend these three sections that meet together.
Let's see.
Let's see. Woo.
Math.
Math,
So
math.
fails me.
Maths. 2 for 1.
There you go.
Woohoo! Luckily, I recruited my dad to help me figure out these tricky angles, and once all the boards were laid out, all we had to do is go back and do the finishing touches to make some beautiful curves from one section of the boardwalk to the next. Gosh, look how gorgeous these curves turned out. Just easily flows from one to the next. Doing this project was so important to me because I don't know why people are so obsessed with grass, because it is just so much more maintenance and work and you get absolutely nothing out of it. Doing this boardwalk now provides me easier access to go from my shed all the way to my house without ever touching the ground. It's going to provide some protection for all of the critters that are underneath, and it just beautifully separates all of the different sections of the property. Like we've got our rain garden over here, which is like the lowest part of our property. We've got our fruit trees. We've got some other raised beds in our greenhouse, and the raised beds around the greenhouse. Like, look how gorgeous that is. We've got our other area over here with our fig tree and some other raised beds. And then we just keep on sweeping this way, and it just goes right to our patio. Like, look how good that looks. Not only did this path turn out to be absolutely gorgeous, this is going to make our property so much easier to manage. And honestly, we finished it at the perfect time because spring is in the air, our big planting day is coming soon, and this is going to make gardening so much more enjoyable for years to come. Thanks for coming along with me on season 1 of the Backyard Food Project. The next time you see me, it'll be season 2, and we are flipping the switch into full production. And I cannot wait to see you then.